My name is Min, and I'm here at the Varsity Theater, and I get the privilege of talking to one of my favorite bands, Amberlin. Would you introduce yourselves and let people know what you do for the band?
My name's Christian, and I attempt to play guitar for Amberlin.
Yes, and then this is the final year of Amberlin. How has sort of the final year been going?
It's been good. I mean, the first half of the year we were recording a record, so our final record, Lowborn, which just came out a few months ago, and we started touring around the summertime. Warped Tour was the first tour, and we've basically been on tour ever since then, nonstop. I've been home 2 weeks since June. So.
Yeah, and you guys did that whole international bit?
International a few times, yeah. South America, Australia, Southeast Asia, Europe, and we went back to Europe and did some shows for the Navy, like played for the troops, which was really cool. And then we're only 2 weeks into this tour, so.
As far as the final like touring and things like that, what's been the most memorable favorite moment so far?
Honestly, a lot of the Navy shows were pretty cool because we got the opportunity to go to a lot of places we'd never been before, Spain and Italy and Sicily. So there was just, I mean, it's all been amazing. It really has. It's been, strange, kind of like counting down the shows in the cities. Yeah. Backwards ticking clock at this point, but anytime we get new opportunities is really cool.
I know a lot of fans are heartbroken, but I feel like a lot of us should be at least half grateful because I know a lot of the bands that I've listened to that are gone now, they sort of like build up all this momentum, and then like you see them doing all these big things, and then their sort of enthusiasm goes away and they sort of like fizzle out slowly, and you don't even know that they're gone.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like you see online, like, oh yeah, we're actually broken up now.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should be grateful that way. Like when you guys announced at the beginning of the year, what was going through your guys' minds? Like how you should approach this?
We had been talking about it long before we had announced it, and what had happened was basically, we've been in this band for a long time. I mean, I've been in the band 8 years, but Amberlin's been in a band 12 years, but Joey, Steven, and Dion have been playing together for 18 years since high school. So it's like, it's all anyone's known, and when you're younger, you can be on the road all the time, and it's amazing. It's still amazing, but like now that we're older, it's like life circumstances are kind of pulling people in different directions. People are married and have kids and whatnot, and we kind of saw that, and it was affecting our ability to tour and just like the business and everything we'd built as Amberlin. So I think we had the foresight to say, we can see everyone kind of going in different directions. So out of respect for what we built over these 12 years, we should kind of call it a day and plan out how we want to do that. And we discussed whether or not we wanted to do a final record. We discussed what kind of touring we wanted to do and all that kind of stuff, because it's like the window was very small. It's like, okay, well, 6 months from now, we should announce, and then we'll have a year. So how do we want to spend that year? So,
So you kind of like answered my next question too. Like who's the first guy to fire up that conversation amongst the band members? Like sort of like, hey, like, everyone meet on Skype at 8 o'clock. I got something to tell you.
No, we were on tour, and I think everyone knew whether people wanted to admit it or not. I mean, it's a scary thing, because this is what you've done for so long. It's like, sometimes the unknown can be scary, but a few of the guys just kind of said, hey, I think they'd been talking together and we're kind of on the same page and just kind of wanted to see where everyone else was at. And so it started a discussion. It wasn't like, I want to quit or, I think this should happen. It was like, hey, this is where we're at. So we want to see where everyone else is at. And then, we kind of came to the conclusion then of like, okay, well then we should, because like you said, you will see a lot of bands just kind of keep continuing, even though you have these issues. I think every band has these same issues of like trying to balance, being in a band and having any sort of normal life and relationships. So, and I think a lot of times people ignore that because it's all that you've known, and it is your job. It is a job. So it's like, and then on a long enough timeline, bands start touring less and less, and the shows get smaller, and then eventually they implode or they just disappear. And we always said we never wanted to be that band that just kind of like fizzled out. We said it's better that people are asking why than wait, they're still a band, instead of like, why are they breaking up, instead of like, wait, Amberlin, they're still a band, whoa, I didn't even know that, like I haven't heard of them forever. So we all, I mean, not that was like the inevitable way that this band would go, but you know,
Yeah.
I appreciate the way we're going about it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And like you guys have made like a handful of awesome albums, and like for me personally, like each one sort of like some marks a point in my life. Like for example, Cities was like when I was doing a bunch of soul searching, so that one means like a lot to me. Which album cycle was the most enjoyable for you then?
I mean, honestly, it's all been pretty spectacular in my opinion. Yeah, it's been a blessing, you know, like I had gone through a band breakup and just, you know, and I went through like a really like depressed period of like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And kept playing music. And like I'd known the Anberlin guys forever. And so I just never really pictured, you know, I just never thought that that's the way my life would pan out. So, you know, touring with them, I remember because I was filling in on that tour. And I remember just having the best time, like from the beginning, and just getting along so well, just clicking really well.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, man, this is so great. Like, I hope this can pan out. And on that tour, it was only a few weeks into that tour, they were like, yo, you just want to like be in the band.
Yeah.
You know, because I think they felt the same way. So
That's so fortunate because like it's so difficult to sort of like slide in sometimes.
Yeah, it was really seamless, honestly. My old band was pretty similar style and kind of attitude and vision and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it was easy for me as a songwriter to come in and write songs for Amberlin and, you know.
Well, speaking of that, like, do you prefer as an artist the studio and like writing process or hitting the road and performing? Like, what do you prefer?
I don't necessarily prefer one over the other because they are symbiotic, you know what I mean? It's like, I love the creative process, I love writing, I love, you know, like thinking back to when I initially wrote a riff or a song or whatever, and then, you know, hearing the final version, you know, mixed and mastered is a pretty like incredible thing to think back like, oh my gosh, I created this thing, or we created this thing that wasn't there before, which is like a really like, it's an amazing experience, you know. And then also, you know, touring, I love, it like fulfills that wanderlust that I think you have to kind of have to be a touring musician. So, you know, it's pretty exciting. If I'm home for too long, I get a little stir crazy. So I like the traveling. You know, every day you're in a different city. It's, you know, it's just exciting. So I like them both. You know.
I'm gonna hit you with the speed run quick, and we'll just end this here. What is your favorite movie?
Fight Club.
Oh, nice, good choice. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Probably anything spicy, like Thai. I like really spicy Thai food.
Oh, right on. Where is the coolest place you've ever visited?
Coolest place. I just recently, without the band, my little sister got married in like central Italy, like Tuscany, Umbria area. That was a wonderful, wonderful vacation. So that was beautiful. Yeah.
That's cool. Cats or dogs?
Both.
Both? All right. No one's ever said that. It's just like such an easy way to answer.
I like them both.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's got cats, and I've had dogs my whole life, and I like her cats. And, yeah.
Right on. All right, last one. The one thing that has influenced your life the most?
My parents. Yeah, by far. I think, you know, I thought they raised me pretty well, and they've been a huge influence in my life, and honestly enabled me to follow my dreams. And, you know, I wouldn't be here playing in this band if it wasn't for my parents, you know, funding my life for, you know, when I was younger. It's like I dropped out of college when I was a senior. You know what I mean? I was like close to graduating, but my band at the time, you know, started getting bigger, and it was like, and that's what I wanted to do. And it was like my parents were supportive enough to let me, you know, follow my dreams. And you know, it's like I lived at home and I made no money, you know, until I was like 27. And the other parent would be like, well, if you're not going to finish college, and you know, you're going to have to get a job and, you know, get out of here or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, my parents have definitely been a huge influence on my life. So.
Right on. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.